Pillar Award.
Thank you. This is an easy thing. But we all know that you don't start a section and see it succeed by yourself. There have been many people over the years that without their dedication and service, to sacrifice their practice, to see something like this succeed, need to be recognized as well. Mr. Jimerson, if he had not supported us in 1982-83 for the approval in 84, the section would not have started then. He's right. The divorce lawyers, as we were referred to at that time, were not held in very high esteem. There were no sections. The State Bar was young, and it took almost 2 years to get the approval, and primarily because of Mr. Jimerson, who right from the very beginning understood the importance of having an educational arm for the family law within the state. There have been many since then that have contributed substantially to the success of this section. The first membership roll, I think, in 1984, we had 40 members. The dues of $20, and I think our budget, as I recall, for that year was $2,000. And Peter Jaquette was here earlier. He was our budget officer for 3 years. He had to manage all that money for us. The Bar Association made it very clear to us that they didn't want to back a loser, and that the money that they donated to get the section started, they expected to receive in return. And I know the time that I was involved, the section always operated in the black. And I've been told that it has made money for the Bar Association greater than any other section of the State Bar. In fact, probably more than all of the other sections put together. Bear with me while I give you just a short reason why I started this section. In the late 70s, I realized that I was not experienced enough to handle the more complicated divorce cases. I had one where I missed an issue that today none of us sitting in this room would neglect, but I did. And I realized that I'm going to have to do one of two things. I'm either going to have to refer my family law cases out, or I'm going to have to educate myself. At that time, there was no section. The only CLEs that were given by the State Bar of Nevada centered around its annual meeting in the spring of the year. And so I had to travel to California numerous times, to New York, Chicago, Florida, Colorado, Texas, to take those classes, attend those seminars, and those conferences to educate myself. And I did. And it was probably the best professional decision I made in my life. But so that you all sitting here today and everybody that's come before you didn't have to resort to the sacrifices that I did to educate myself, I decided that we needed a family law section. Because every state that I traveled to, taking all those classes that I did, they primarily stemmed from the fact that there were active family law cases in those states. And I could see the strength of the family law section. And when I started educating myself, I didn't realize how much I didn't know. And it's only after education, study, and the success of this section that you all, as you sit here today, and everybody that comes after you, will be able to understand and learn what you don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know back in 1978, 79. You don't have to go through what I went through. You have a section that has educated lawyers, that has educated staff, that has educated judges. You have a section that has provided a foundation for the competent and experienced practice of family law in the state. And as a result, you learn not only by programs put on by the section, but you learn by those very judges that this section educated. You learn from those very lawyers that learned by reason of the programs of this section. Take advantage of it, because you have an advantage now, and that is you do and will know what you don't know. And this is a forum where you can study and succeed for the benefit of the profession and our clients, just because of all the people that have come prior to us, that have sacrificed and worked so hard for the last 25 years. I can't tell you how pleased I am and proud of all of you that's sitting here tonight, because this is what Jim and I and a handful of the bar wanted to do in the early 1980s. And with your help and many others, we've made it. And I want to thank all of you. This is the point where you're supposed to acknowledge everybody that's helped, everybody that's contributed, and there have been numerous people. But there's one person that I think we have to acknowledge tonight, that when he became involved with the bar and the family law section, that he has worked tirelessly, without remuneration, oftentimes without appreciation. And he continues to this day to give time that most of us just don't have. And I want you to know that we need people like Marsha Willick. Marsha, you stand up. I'm carrying on far too long, but I want to tell you how nice it is to see the participation that we have with the judges. Not only have the judges learned, but they've learned enough to educate us when we appear before them. And all of those judges here tonight, you have my personal appreciation for participating in this section like you have over the years. Thank you. Again, thank you. I'm very appreciative.
We heard a lot about Ron from people that his partner and people that know him well. I'd like to thank him on behalf of all the people that he helped along the way, like myself, that I had nothing to give to him. He took my calls when I was a brand new attorney and knew nothing. He was kind enough when I took the AML test to come down on a Saturday. So for all the nameless, faceless people you've helped along the way, just because you're a kind person, thank you, brother. Now we're going to determine the squirrel. A very serious topic too, maybe not so serious. Just to let you know a little history, you get attorneys together to compete over anything, they go out of control. We had an arms race. The skits came to 20, 30 minutes. So we have imposed a 10-minute limitation on ourselves. So you're going to be hearing from the South first, and then the North, and then we will be voting on the winner in the presentation of the squirrel. So first to the South.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to make one change from what Ray just said. And this actually is very important for our business. This isn't actually the beginning of the presentation, because everybody knows that's a video presentation. This is truly important for our business, particularly family law section business. Approximately 1 year ago, the South inherited a severe problem. Through due diligence, sound legal reasoning, and just damn good-looking actors, the South prevailed in the videotaped entertainment, bringing Sammy the Squirrel back from the highly immoral, corrupting environment of the North. Sammy was in horrible shape when he arrived in the South, which was a complete shock to the religious and moral residents of our fair city. Apparently in 2008, Sammy had come from Reno and arrived in Ely on the Wednesday evening before the conference. He had checked into his hotel, and as is the way of the North, headed straight to the bar with some of his supposed friends from the Reno area. By Friday night, Sammy was in such despicable condition, it was an embarrassment to the entire bar. We found him passed out in a seedy sushi restaurant. It turns out